Disgraced New Zealand Green Party MP Golriz Ghahraman would browse high-end boutique stores and then hide clothing in bags before exiting. Former New Zealand Green Party MP Golriz Ghahraman appeared in the Auckland District Court on Wednesday 13th of March 2024 following a shoplifting investigation which found she had stolen around $8,367 worth of clothing from 3 shops. She pleaded guilty to all charges and will be sentenced in June, later this year. Here are full details of the former MP's offending recently printed in mainstream media. At about 3 p.m. on Saturday 22nd of October 2023, Ghahraman entered Creative Works with a male associate. She removed a number of clothing garments from the display rack and took them into the changing rooms. One of the items was a black Zambesi shirt, worth $695. While in the changing room she tried on a number of items, emerging several times to confer with her associate and to browse another display rack. Whilst hidden behind the privacy curtain in the changing room, Ghahraman put the Zambesi shirt inside a clothing or bag. She did buy a pair of pants with her credit card at the counter, but made no attempt to pay for the Zambesi shirt. 2 months later on Thursday 21st of December 2023, Ghahraman entered Scotty's boutique in Ponsonby with 2 associates. She was wearing a large tote bag over her right shoulder. At about 4:03 p.m., she removed a black Acne Studios single-breasted coat from a display rack, valued at $1,900. She then took a pair of black pants from a separate display rack and entered the changing room with both items. While concealed from view, Ghahraman placed the coat inside her tote bag. She then tried on the pair of pants with the curtain open before placing them back on the display rack. Ghahraman continued browsing the store and at 4:09 p.m. removed a black Com's des Garçons wallet from the display cabinet, valued at $160. According to the summary, Ghahraman held the wallet in her hand and walked into a deserted area of the shop. While she was outside the view of the store attendants, she surreptitiously placed the wallet inside her tote bag. She continued to browse the store until 4:25 p.m., but left without making any purchases or attempting to pay for the coat and wallet hidden inside her bag. The following day, Ghahraman went into Standard Issue in Newmarket, wearing a large brown tote over her shoulder. She engaged in conversation with the store manager while browsing the clothing on a display table. She then picked up a navy blue cardigan, worth $389. While the manager's attention was briefly diverted, Ghahraman placed the cardigan inside her brown tote and promptly left the shop. The manager immediately noticed the cardigan was no longer on the table. Ghahraman was the only customer in the store at the time. The following day on Saturday 23rd of December 2023, Ghahraman went back to Scotty's boutique. This time she had a large black tote bag and a smaller red satchel bag over her shoulders. Immediately after entering the shop, she removed a large empty brown tote from inside the black tote bag and placed it over her left shoulder. Then the MP stopped at a display cabinet and removed a charcoal grey Baobawasi Miyake lucent bag, worth $650. She walked the bag to another area of the shop, scanned her surroundings and placed it into the red satchel bag. Shortly after, she took 4 clothing items into a changing room, including a black 2 squares simple slip dress worth $333 and a black rocalanth dress worth $4,500. While concealed behind the privacy curtain, she placed both dresses inside one of her bags. She opened the curtain and placed a long-sleeve dress back on the display rack. At 1:21 p.m. she removed a black Lemire crepe tank top worth $290 before bundling it into her bag. She then exited the store. But a store employee approached Ghahraman in the car park and asked to check inside her bag. Ghahraman refused to show the employee the contents of her bag. She returned briefly inside the store with the employee where she offered an explanation, pointing to a dress hung inside a coat as the reason for misunderstanding. The employee accepted this explanation and allowed her to leave. About an hour later, an associate of Ghahraman's went into the boutique and returned the items of clothing Ghahraman had taken, except the tank top. When spoken to by police, Ghahraman accepted it was her in the CCTV footage taken at Creative Works, but did not recall taking the shirt. In relation to the offending at Scotty's boutique, Ghahraman accepted the facts and admitted shoplifting. she declined to comment on the offending at standard issue. Ghahraman has previously appeared before the court on a charge of careless driving. Some obvious questions arise. 1. Should Golriz Ghahraman be discharged without conviction because it is her first offence? And, if granted, what message would this send to other aspiring shoplifters? 2. There are several references to Golriz Ghahraman associates in the above report. Who are these associates, and what was their involvement, if any, in the shoplifting? Why have they not been publicly named? Do they have name suppression? 3. If any of these unnamed associates were actually New Zealand Green Party MPs, but were nonetheless 100% innocent of any wrongdoing, should they come forward or be publicly named in the best interests of transparency? Thank you for listening. Geraint, on behalf of WhangareiTim.
Every young woman in Parliament, every woman in Parliament, most parliamentarians are pretty upfront with each other.
Did you know about Golriz and what she was doing in shops?
No. And I think, again, basically, the co-leaders here have outlined absolutely everything that was known at respective points in time, and you'll know that this is an active case currently before the courts and before the police. So that's what we're dealing with, and I think that a line needs to be drawn under that. She has resigned, she's taken full responsibility for her behaviour, and obviously made it abundantly clear the mental distress that she was under as well.
Because there's some CCTV footage, I'm not sure if you've seen it, and it looks like you're in the background. Is that you?
No, it's not me. Time and again, we have seen real mis and disinformation whipped up online, and that has meant that particularly women and women of colour in our Parliament have been the centre of those online maelstroms. And yeah, I guess it's just a really gutting situation, a really sad situation on all fronts.